Hey, what's happening, Roland?
Woo.
Look at this guy. What you got, son? Hey, can you land him? Okay, Matt.
I'll get him.
Okay, way to go.
Whoa.
Get it. Oh, son. Hey, that's a good one, Matt. What you got, son? A big old 6 or 7 pounder. Woo! That's a nice one. You've caught some big fish. How big is your biggest bass?
About 7. So
That's about 6, don't you think?
I would think.
That's about 6 pounds.
Camera,
That's a 6 pounder. Hey, I tell you what, folks, what we're doing right now, and it's so hard to see this. I'm going to try to switch his camera around to the other screen. I can't really do it. And I'll tell you what, if you could hold this right there and hold it on me, and I'm just going to talk about what we're doing here. And this is what's happening, Roland, because what this is, folks.
Hold him up, Matt.
This is a big old 6 pound bass, and we're out here with D. Mulligan, the cameraman. He's my old time buddy from Little Rock, Arkansas area, and we've been fishing together for 35, 40 years, right, D?
Right.
And this is his son Matt. We just caught a nice bass, probably 6 pounds on a shiner, but we've caught 4 or 5 other fish. We had you've caught 2 or 3, I've caught 2 or 3, your dad's caught 2 or 3. So anyway, we'll go ahead and release him. We got some good pictures of him. And that's a nice bass. It's a beautiful bass. Well, what's happening, Roland? What happened last weekend was I went down to Oklahoma, and we had the big tournament, the Bass Pro Shop U.S. Open. I'm just going to get up. I'm going to get up front where I'm into the sun. Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to turn in. I'm going to talk about that. Okay, D. What I'm doing? I went to Oklahoma. And the U.S. Open was on, and was with Jimmy Houston and also Edwin Evers, and and it was a big cold front that hit, and the fishing got knocked off. I took it 17 pounds to win, and I'd lived in Oklahoma for some 10 years, so I knew a little bit about it. That was kind of the good deal. Well, I got back, and I had to go to the doctor, and I have a concierge doctor, and I had some stuff to do, and I came over here to Headwaters Lake yesterday. And I had a really interesting trip. Well, I've been having an interesting trip today. But what happened yesterday, which was Friday, and today's Saturday, and I missed doing the Friday update. So this is Saturday now. Well, Friday, I had some guys from down south in actually around Miami, and they wanted to learn the lake a little bit better. They had their own boat, and they brought their boat along. In fact, they're out today. So I showed them some areas, and we started off with Cincos, particularly the Wacky Rig Cinco. And I took a little Wacky Rig set up like this, and I put the little worm, would hook it right in the center of the worm, and would use a spinning rod, kind of like this right here. I don't really have one set up, but anyway, yeah. This was the kind of the Wacky Rig we had, but a different kind of, that was the Wacky Rig right there, and that was one of them. And would hook that worm like a 297, and would hook it like right here in the middle, and it would just hook the 297 5-inch worm right there, and that's Wacky Rig. Believe it or not, we'd take that little spinning rod, and it sinks real funny. If you look at it, it just kind of sinks down slow and easy. It's not much of a sink deal, but anyway, it sinks down. And we were taking this worm yesterday and throwing it to these edges. And we're in a gravel pit now. There's 11 big holes and pits in the Headwaters Lake, and we're in one of them right now. And we're fishing shiners and worms right now. But yesterday we were going along these same kind of holes, and we were throwing to the edge of the hydrilla, just like that. And we'd let it sit there, and it sinks real slow. This is not a fast kind of sinking deal. It's just sinking real slow and easy. And you just have to watch your line. There wasn't much wind, just about like today. And we just pull it like that, and we kind of pull it along and let it sink some more. The problem was, I lost 2 big fish. I normally don't lose fish. I lost about a 5 or 6 pounder. And the guy with me, here's the funny thing. I asked him, I said, Spencer, how many pound test line is that? And Spencer said, I think it's 50-pound braid. I said, okay. And he had it on a casting rod. And I said, are you sure it's 50? Yeah, I think it's 50. Right off the bat, he throws a worm out there. Well, no, actually, the first fish. He throws a Zara spook out there. That's another big deal. I had some Zara spooks right here. And he's throwing that Zara spook at it. He's working it along the edge of the grass. A big old 6 or 7 pounder, about like Matt just caught. He came up and ate the big old Zara spook, and He got it up to the boat, and he's fighting it real good, and it dives under the boat and breaks his line. And I said, man, what pound test line is that? He said, oh, I think it's 50. Oh, it must have been a bad knot. Anyway, we tied another knot and got it all squared away, and about a couple hours later, he takes a worm. Same rod, throws it out there. This time, he hooks a really big bass. I'm talking about a big trophy fish. His biggest bass he'd ever caught in his life was about 5 pounds, and so he was looking for his personal best. And he had the personal best on. Not only with the Zara Spook was a personal best, but this other one he hooks on a worm is bigger yet. So anyway, he gets it up to the boat, and it dives under the boat. And the first thing I said to Spencer, when a big fish is up to the boat like this, be sure to loosen your drag. And so the fish just, we see it. It's big. It's 7 or 8 pounds. And it's powering underneath the boat, breaks his line. I said, Spencer, what in the world are you doing? What happened? He said, let me look at that line. I looked at the line. Guess what? He had like 15 pound test braid, real light braid on there. I said, Spencer, this is really light line. This isn't heavy 50-pound line. I know you've lost 2 monster bass on it. And so anyway, they're out there today. And the first thing they did this morning at the Outdoor Adventures, I stay at the Fellsmere Outdoor Adventures, and Pat Kelly runs it. Fellsmere Outdoor Adventures, okay. We all got out of there. I have a little place to stay there. Anyway, they got brand new line, brand new 50-pound line, and they're out there. In fact, they're right over there right now. I'm going to go over and check with them. But so that was really an interesting concept, working with the Headwaters lake. Then a little bit later that day, yesterday, we took a white chatterbait, went over on the east side, and got some little holes and open areas. We caught a couple 3 and 4 pound bass. And then I said, okay, if we want a really big fish, well, here's what we're going to have to do. We'll have to go to a punching, flipping setup. And I have the right deal for this. Let me just show you what it is. And this was what I thought we were going to really catch the most big fish on. And what I had was this rod right here. And this is a special rod. I've added a little bit extra to the butt, just so it's just a bigger, stouter rod. And I've cut it down a little bit. I've actually cut the thing back a little bit to make it a little stouter, and I put a carbaloid tip on it. And I take this big heavy rod, it's 65 pound test braid, and that's 1.5 ounces weight. The big old crawl worm deal, big old 4/0 hook, and I got a Snell knot. And I just get into the big patches of hydrilla, like we're out away from it. We can't do it. But to get along those real big, thick, matted up patches, and we'd flip in there, and as it would sink, the bass would bite the lure. And so you have to really watch your line for any kind of tap. As soon as you feel it hit, boom, you set the hook. And we caught 4 or 5. But I was showing this other guy how to do it, Spencer's buddy. And he dropped in, and bam, he caught one almost 6 pounds on one of my rods and one of my lures like this. And that was the big fish of the day. But when you total it all up, we caught a couple 4-pounders. We caught that one almost 6. We had a couple more 3s. Medium day, but we lost 5 or 6 really nice bass. Everybody lost a couple fish. So that's what it is. When you come out to Headwaters, you know, you got your chance for maybe your personal best, because there's I've caught them over almost 13 pounds here, and several 10s. So every day we're in the process of at least seeing a big fish. And we've seen one big fish today that Matt just caught. It was about a 6-pounder. But the day's early. There's a lot more going on. And so that's kind of the update. I'll be over here at Headwaters doing some more guide work for the rest of the week. And I want to show the camera Matt's father. Okay, this is D. This is D, and my buddy D Mulligan. And I tell you, Mulligan. Yeah, I can't pronounce it.
It's hard to say.
It's hard. But anyway, D and I. It's kind of interesting. We started fishing together when?
77.
77. That was a long time ago.
First Bass Classic.
First Bass. It was way
in Pine Bluff.
In Pine Bluff, and that's the one that Jack Chancellor caught. Yeah, he caught it on the little do nothing worms.
Right.
Yeah, and hey, you put me on some big fish, and I had some 5-pounders and 4-pounders we caught, but I just didn't catch them in the tournament. You know how it goes.
That's fishing.
I think I did all right in the tournament. Didn't I come in pretty high?
I think you did.
I was pretty high in the
You're
tournament.
decent. We was hoping you would win. But, you know,
And then right after that, I tell you, folks, you came down to Okeechobee, and then you also
I bought one of your boats.
bought a boat. Yep, and we caught some bass together. Now here we are fishing almost 40 years later.
Right.
30 something, 35
Both
years
of
later.
us got old.
We got old. Hey, we still got the enthusiasm. And the thing about Dee and I want to just tell you, we both have the fever. I mean, we want to get up. We can't half sleep at night. Want to go up in the morning. We might not fish as well as we did. Hey, but we're having a good time.
That's exactly right. So we're going to be fine.
So anyway, folks, if you can just kind of see that, I'm gonna hit the likes button. Hey, thanks for watching. It's been a great time bringing these YouTube videos to you, and particularly what happened. Roland would give you the update for the week. Okay, we'll see you again soon. Thank you.